Hey everybody, welcome to Let's Play Trilby's Notes. This is the special edition by Ben Yahtzee Croshaw. Yahtzee does game reviews, and he's very good at them. He has made a mythos of 4 games. This is technically the 3rd game that he created, but it is a direct sequel to 5 Days a Stranger, which a friend of mine, StyleShift88, is playing right now. I will upload my play of 5 Days, but that'll come later. I'll just do Trilby's notes for right now. I'm going to link this at the end of his videos, so if you have not seen 5 Days a Stranger, I suggest doing that, or you will be very confused. We'll go ahead and start. Unless I have direct control over dialogue, I will not be reading it. Direct control relates to such as this note coming up. Game over. Direct control, if I can click the button and move the dialogue along, I will read it. If I can't, I probably will not. So let's go ahead and play. That was what I thought as I stood and watched Defoe Manor collapse into flaming ash. The ordeal was over. Those 5 days cost us all so much. Philip and AJ paid with their lives. They were the fortunate ones. Jim Fowler was expelled from school for truancy, a bright future in tatters. Simone Taylor took to the bottle. Her broadcast became slurred, her eyes hollow and unwelcoming. She soon vanished from television screens. As for me, I tried to return to life as a cat burglar, but I had been forever tainted by my time spent in that wretched house. The memories of my possession came back in my nightmares. Every night I was there again, in the mansion, staring out through unfamiliar eyes as Philip died at my hands. I became convinced that John Defoe was not at rest, that someday he would return for me. I became so terrified of invisible enemies that I forgot about the tangible ones. 2 slow, miserable years after Defoe Manor, a barrage of truncheon blows caught me a harsh lesson in reality, and I woke up in the kind of filthy cell I assumed would be my new home. But then he came, the man from the government with his nervous smile, offering an alternative. The STP, the Special Talent Project. It hadn't been that much earlier that I would have sooner died than entered an obligation with anyone, least of all the government. Had Defoe Manor changed me so much? Whatever my reasons, I left my past behind and resolved to give my new superiors nothing to complain about. I spent a year and a half completing assignments, developing contacts, building a reputation. And then the past caught up. In the summer of 1997, I became concerned about Simone Taylor's mental well-being. The papers were reporting her continual breakdown, and she had become a virtual recluse. I had no idea if my appearance would assist or hinder. I had, after all, deliberately allowed her to think me dead. Presumably she knew differently now, after the media coverage of my arrest, but I would expect her to be bitter about my subterfuge. On balance, I decided that a meeting with an old friend would most likely be beneficial. I came to our apartment building on a warm, stormy night and braced myself for the encounter. Alright, so we're Trilby. He looks a lot better than he did in 5 Days, I think. A lot more trim. This game has a different setup than the other one. It's a text parser mixed with moving around with the arrow keys, so the mouse doesn't really come into play here. We go ahead and type in commands like look. Simone's apartment building was gripped by a thick smell of musty, unwashed carpets. It perplexed me that a celebrity would choose to live in such a low-rent accommodation. Alright, so we know that her door is on the left. We'll go ahead and take a knock on the door. I knocked sharply upon Simone's door. No answer. Let's knock again. Receiving no reply, I knocked again, louder. Nothing. Let's knock one more time just to be safe. Still no response. The doorman had assured me Simone was in. I decided it was time to enter by my own methods. Pick lock. On door. Oh. Pick door. I reasoned that Simone could have been in trouble, and even if she wasn't, then at worst I was only playing to my reputation. I spent a few minutes feverishly picking the lock, then let myself in. Damn, it's dark. Let's go over to the window. Open blinds. Oh. Oh, shit. Okay. Check body. The body on the floor was undoubtedly Simone. I felt for a pulse, and my hand came away stained with long cooled blood. My fingers traced the outline of a large wound in her torso, slashed by a big weapon, wielded by a big assailant. I called for an ambulance, as futile as it would be, and left before they arrived. Due to me being a clear murder suspect, I was relieved from duty for the week it took for the Ministry of Occultism to inspect the flat and confirm supernatural activity. My superiors simultaneously apologized and assigned me to investigate if there was a connection to the Defoe Manor incident. Merely reading those 3 words, capitalized on the front of a loose-leaf file, brought the nightmares back with more intensity than ever. Sure enough, a field agent reported that looters had discovered and sold several artifacts from the mansion, including the wooden idol that housed John Defoe's soul. To my surprise, no murders had been reported or committed by anyone who had come into contact with the accursed trinket. I did not find this reassuring. I quickly advised James Fowler to go into hiding. He was stunned, but agreed. The boy had sense, and still respected my judgment. This done, I began following the idol's trail. From the pawn shop it had entered the possession of one Professor Abed Chahal, an authoritative historian. He had scheduled some kind of antique fair at the Clanbronwyn Hotel on a small island off the coast of Anglesey, popular with tourists. Assuming the role of a scholar of antiquities, I booked a room. On the 28th of July, 1997, I caught a ferry from Portlahog to Anglesey and arrived at around 3 p.m. in Clanbronwyn's Island's coastal village. I'm going to go ahead and stop here and pick up in the next video.